Hello, it is me, Anime Beat. I'm here to bring you part one of What If Deku Had a Fire Quirk? Yes, sir. Okay, got a couple things to start off with before we actually get into the main video of it all. I've been having uploading issues. I'm sorry for how long this has taken. Um, very sorry. Anyways, um, for the new people here, hi, I'm Wheat Anime. You can call me Anime Wheat or Wheat Annie or Annie Wheat, I guess. I don't know. I do what if content, as you can. Why wouldn't you? That's me. Hi, anime what if content. I talk, okay? I talk into a mic and I get views, kinda. Not as popular as the rest, but hey, I do my job, kinda. Not very goodly, but hey, I'm here, aren't I? I'm better than most, can say. I feel bad for saying that. Anyways, yeah, today, part one, as you all could probably figure out by the context clues. Um, couple things. Um, one, I do three other what ifs each and every week until we are done with them, and then we move on to the next three. So if you have any what if ideas, put them down below. But I will warn you, if it is a series I have yet to see, it will take me a little bit to get to it, but I eventually will. And for the people who's been saying a lot of ReZero what if ideas, I have yet to see it, but I do plan on watching it after I do my watch through of Fairy Tale. Anyways, rewatch a Fairy Tale. If I said that, I probably did. Sorry, there's been issues with me. Flare up of a medical flare up. Anyways, brain fog. Not really. I can still remember decently well, kinda. Anyways, yeah. Through two other what ifs besides this one each and every week. On Monday we have what if Naruto was more like Minato. That video's up by this one. And then on Friday we have what if Itadori had a speed curse technique. And then here on Wednesday, which this isn't recorded on Wednesday, this is recorded on a Saturday, but usually it is recorded on a Wednesday. We have what if Deku had a fire quirk. Now, I do a lot of what ifs. I've done a lot in the past. I recommend you go check those out. I would greatly appreciate if you did. Share them with your friends if they like anime what if ideas. Yeah. Anyways, oh gosh, I think I got sneeze. Sorry. I'm a person. I'm not perfect. Editing is a weakness of mine. I hate doing it. I do try my best with audio, but sometimes background noise will cut in into the video via birds, wind, whatever it may be. It will probably cut in at some point. I'm very sorry if it does. Um, yes, I'm very sorry. Um, anyways, I'm on social media. I on Instagram and X and TikTok, all at We Anime, except for X, which is We Anime Real. I believe TikTok is We Anime TikTok. Not entirely sure, but we will always find out. Anyways, yeah, Fire Quirk. I'm gonna do a little bit of a backstory and then we get into the series. Hopefully today. Unsure. Sorry, I'm chewing on a piece of gum. Do also want to say a couple of things on how I do my what ifs here in a second. Okay, so I do semi impressions. They're not very good, but I tried to do them. Anyways, sorry, my ears are doing something weird. Trying to pop them currently. Can you all pop your ears like by yourself? It was like they were clogged. That was weird with like air. Did not like that. I'll tell you that much. But anyways, um, so I do my what ifs. Like I said, I do impressions. Not really impressions. They're more of a change my voice around to fit the character. That's really it. In reality, right? Um, yeah, I stutter a lot. Speech impediment. Bad at talking. Uh, yeah. Anyways, so is that it? Oh yeah, I don't use scripts, so if I just go silent for a little bit, I'm very sorry. I'm trying to think of what to say because I don't use a script. It's kind of in the word. Uh, yeah, I don't use scripts. Um, if you would like to use any of the techniques or the quirk that I made up for this, well, what if you can? Go ahead. Just tell me that you are so that I can find you later on and sue you. I'm joking. Funny little joke. I'm actually gonna sue you, maybe. But I hope you get it. What I mean. You can go use it. I don't care for either D&D or your own what if or texting a story, whatever it may be. Go ahead. Fine by me. It's fine. I don't care. Um, just ask me first. Go ahead, use it if I don't respond. Um, okay, cool. Anyways, I believe that is it for that. I think maybe, maybe. Trying to think. My allergies are bad right now, so if I sound a little bit stuffy, I'm very sorry. Um, uh, Trying to think what else is wrong that I'm willing to tell you. Really gotta pee. That's a thing, but I can wait. I can hold it. Stomach hurts, if you would like to know. I haven't ate since like 2. What the? Something most certainly just got attacked behind me. Don't like to think that it's behind me. Anyways, let's hope that thing don't come and attack me. I can tell you that much. Cool. Anyways, so how this is gonna go? How I do my what ifs? Probably a little bit different than the others. Um, yeah. It's. I mean, what else do you want me to say? It's a little bit different, but anyways. So we first go into the backstory, and then the main timeline, following arcs for each and every episode. Sometimes they are skipped, sometimes they are not. Um, it will fully depend on time. Man, my stomach hurts a lot. But anyways, I believe it is time we officially get into this video. We see a young Izuku, um, Midoriya, not a Todoroki, just hanging out at school on the playground, a little bit farther away than everyone. He's introverted, shy, doesn't really like playing with these kids, right? I do want to say this. He lives elsewhere, so he doesn't know Bakugo, okay? I just want to say that. He may know other people within Class 1B or Class 1A. Time will tell, though. Bug. Time will most certainly tell on those standpoints, okay? Anyways, um, yeah. I should probably tell you what he looks like, huh? What he looks like. He has, well, right now, he'd be a little bit different than what he will look like later on, but he has shaggy, um, short, but like a medium length, but a little bit shaggier, uh, gray hair with red splotches all about, throughout his hair. His eyes, are black eyes. Well, he has black eyes. Like black, fully black, like eyes. Like irises black, pupil black. Just wanted to put it out there. Right? Anyways, he would just be watching the other kids just run around, having all fun, while he would just sit there, just looking on, watching some kids kick balls, um, or play catch, or show others their quirks that has already awakened by this age. 4 or 5 at this point, okay? He would be 4 or 5 at this current moment, okay? But as he would look on, he would just realize, like, this sucks. He would realize um, that he doesn't like any of them. And also, they don't like him. None of them have, like, really ever tried to come up to him, like, and say, hey, hi, you want to be friends? Right? No one has ever done that. He doesn't know why. Him and his, uh, Mirako, well, she probably want to be a hero by this point. So, probably, like, he would be an older hero. Just so, like, an older hero shirt on. Maybe, probably All Might. Even though, um, he is his favorite hero now, that would change into Mirako as he would get older. But either way, he'd kind of just be he would be sitting there, All Might shirt on, shorts, shoes, just watching this all. But then a memory would pop on his head, like, oh yeah, I get my quirk checked tomorrow. I get to go to the Quirk doctor. And yeah, let's go. Right? That's how he would be. Just quite happy in this moment, like to with himself, right? Which the next day would come, eventually, and him and his mother would go. Once again, Hayashi is non existent, really. Like, maybe once in a while, a call would come in, like, hey fam, how you been? I'm sorry. Hope you all doing well. I'm sending gifts, right? That's what would happen with their relationship. Um, he's not entirely non-existent. Maybe once in a while, him and Izuku will talk like full on like heroes because they're both nerds about heroes. At this point, right? And once in a while, maybe every few years, Hayashi will come home, hang out. Him and Izuku will play catch. But that would be for later on, um, right? But that's how that would go on, right? Um, they would make it to the Quirk Doctor. They would do tests to check on Izuku. Um, it would say he would have a quirk, but it has yet to awaken. Maybe within a couple months or so, a year. Uh, he is almost turning 5 years old, so it is like a nearly. Like he's nearly there, but not fully. Nearly awakened quirk age, right? And his dates would repeat at school, no one really talking to him. And that would happen next few months, go on, same routine. Wake up, or getting woken up by his mom, uh, heading to school, repeat. Within the weekdays, it would just be a full on cycle. On the weekends, they would probably do a fun day on Saturday and then them just stay home all day on Sunday and just relax, chill, um, whatever they would do. They would do. A month or two would go by, uh, and Izuku would awaken his quirk. On the big screen TV in the living room, he'd be watching like a live like news hero report. What like it would be a helicopter watching a hero fight, like a hero versus villain fight, right? He would have his like statue action figure uh of some hero. I don't know who, but he'd be holding it, and then he would see the villain do something like a low blow, like a kick in the under region, something dirty, up to get the upper hand, right? And he would get angry by this, like, why can't you play fair? You're already breaking the rules. Just play fair. Not play fair, but fight fair is what he would say. And he would throw it like across the room, the other side. It would hit against the wall, like near the curtains. As as he would throw it, boom, it would engulf in flames. As it would hit the curtains, they would engulf in flames. The house would burn, not down, right? It wouldn't burn down. Heroes, luckily, with water quirks or something of the nature of the where, like, they would be able to control the fire, and get it snuffed out, get rid of it. Right, right. That's what would happen there. So they would have to go stay elsewhere, um, either at Inko's parents' house or um, a friend of Inko's place, somewhere. They wouldn't go get a hotel room, okay? They'd get put into, not put into, but in a safe place as the place would be fixed up over the next few weeks or probably months, right? Izuku would go back to the Quirk Doctor. He would be figured out, yeah, he has one. They'd run from two tests to like see how he activates it. If it's just on pure anger, it isn't. But uh, he would just have to think of it, and fire would erupt from his hand. Okay. The next few years would go by, maybe 3 years. So around 8 or 7 years old, he would be. Um, Him being a shy introvert has not changed from this moment, from him being younger. Um, right? It wouldn't change at all. It'd just kind of be the same, really. Not really worse. He does have a couple friends, but no one like true friend level, but he would have them at least. Um, right? Going in and out of the Cork Doctor to keep on doing tests over and over, um, like nearly once or twice a week is what he would be doing. He would eventually like he would already know how to summon it. He would know he would figure out his limits when he was 7 years old, and we'll go into that right now. Um, there would be two doctors, a not so well known hero with a fire quirk that would work around the hospital, either protecting it or just helping out doctors, or if there's a kid sick, he would go and like say, "Hey, how you been? Right? Hope you've been doing well." Whoa, it's a hero. It would be like that type of guy. Like he's an actual hero. He just doesn't do the big stuff. He doesn't really care for the money. He just has a fire quirk and uses it as best as he can. Right. He helps at this hospital enough to where like they could call him up and say, "Hey, could you help us with this?" and he would come by easily. Um, Luckily enough, he was already within the building when Izuku's test would begin. With the help of him, they would come up with a name. They haven't came up with a name like suitable enough to how Izuku's quirk works, and I will explain how it does work right this second. In the name, and it would be like the card of it, and like quirk. Izuku Midoriya's quirk. You know how in the anime you have Present Mike's voice explaining the quirk. That's how it would be right now. Quirk, scorching combustion. Sorry, I'm gonna redo that. Quirk, scorching combustion. I can't say it. Can't say combustion. There you go. Combustion. Yeah. Grants the ability to produce and manipulate fire. The user. Uh, Scorching combustion grants the ability to produce and manipulate the fire. Manipulate fire, and then there should be a comma there or a period, but there isn't. The user also has a high resistance to heat, but they can still be burnt by fire and heat. Same thing, right? But only if the fire or heat is hotter than the user's. So, say like Izuku's flames, I don't really know how hot, not on the top of my head, on how hot a actual just flame is. I know hot enough to where like it will burn you, but that has to be like hot enough flame. Like it would just have to be a hotter flame to actually do something to Izuku. But he can also build up his own resistance to his own fire and other flames. Um, Hotter than users. Using too much of this quirk, it will cause a depletion of energy and it will cause the user to have an impairment to their body. Also, if the user exceeds their heat level, they will start to get burnt by their own fire. Okay? So it's the mixture of like, yeah, if you use too much, you're going to get tired, your vision's going to get blurry, you're going to start to overheat and like just overheat and probably have a heat stroke. Something along like that. But also the other factor is that like he will get burnt by his own fire as well if used too much. Right. But after the testing with this hero, Izuku would know how to use his quirk and keep it under control and train with it. Right. Okay. So as years would go by, all the way up to high school, probably the beginning years of high school is when this will begin. Throughout middle school, Izuku has changed. He's his first like change would be from fifth grade all the way through middle school. Now we're in high school is right now where we are. He'd be around 5 foot, I believe 152 centimeters, if you use that uh like way of measuring. Longer gray hair with the red splotches every once in a while throughout his hair, black eyes. He would have more slick, not slicked back, but parted differently hair on how it is. Right, it'd kind of just be a wild, like mane of it. It'd kind of just be flipping up at the bottoms, like rolling up on itself, and then like on you get me, right? Like the whole entire anime thing to where like hair is all like spiky in the back, but not really. Like at the bottom there would be like the separate strands of like spiky hair, and then all above his head is it would kind of just be like flipping up. Okay. But it's not that long to where like it would be like neck length, like at his neck length. Well, not right now. That would be later on. A little bit shorter than that, maybe below the ears. It would be in the shape of a wolf haircut. If you know what I mean. I hope you do. Um, Wolf haircut. You know the one that's been going around. Longer in the back. The sides would be kind of shorter than the back. I hope you all know what I mean. The wolf haircut. I hope you do. Hope I'm not just making something up. But it would kind of be like that in the way it is styled uh, as of right now and going on into high school and then university. That's how his like hair is gonna be, like the wolf, fluffy, wolf type haircut. Okay. Either way, as he would um, just keep on. Oh yeah, his changing. His main thing would be his personality and on how he acts. His grades would just shoot through the roof. Like academic grades, like math, no, math, history, whatever it may be, it would just shoot up through the roof. All A's, maybe B's, um, right? But throughout middle school and now high school, he would be portraying a character. He is still the same introverted, shy kid from all those years ago, but he hasn't let that show in such a long time to where, like, only at home, very few people know who he, like, his true self, right? Right. Uh, he would be start to be called a hothead hottie. Uh, right. He'd be called that throughout these years, all the way to the end of high school to the fifth grade. I know I'm just skipping around in time a lot, but this is how he is. Okay. This is how he would be known as to a lot of people. Like, this would be his nickname. He'd be quite attractive throughout uh time, right? Just quite attractive, right? Uh but he is still the calm, shy, introverted, uh like self-loathing, like where he doesn't hate himself like probably a lot of us do. He just doesn't have high respect for himself. Okay? And out of character, but in character, he like, yeah, I'm just kind of built like that, kind of like that type of attitude. Uh, but either way, that's how he would be. That's how a lot of people would know him to be. Uh, right. But we are gonna go to a day of his first year, nearing second year into high school. Like, this would be a couple days before summer break, right? He'd just be walking from school back to his suburb area, house area. Like, there would just be houses along the road, is where he would live, right? But they're not far, like, they're far enough apart to where, like, there are fences, right? They're not squeezed together like apartments, okay? They would have their own house, two-story, like, home, okay? He'd just be walking there, having like a duffel bag for his like school bag, just hanging off to the side as he would walk past an alleyway, not really paying attention to anything. Before he knew it, he would be grabbed, his mouth would be covered uh, with a large, like, muscular arm covered in these steel, like, iron scales type, like, deal. It would be Gagio basically, and on like the way he looks, right? But clearly there'd be some type of difference. Like, that's his quirk. This guy's quirk. Okay, he'd just kind of be like this type of guy to where, like, that's like the correlation. Okay, his entire body would be covered in this like steel, like scales. He would be kind of beat up. Uh, as these two, well, as Izuku would be grabbed by this man, like, just, okay, this is gonna work. Stay still. Izuku would try to, like, pull away, but then the other arm of this villain would turn into this steel sword serrated edges on both sides, and it would be hold up to Izuku's, like, throat. And the villain would say, You're gonna listen to me now, right? And Izuku would nod. Good. Now stand still. Heroes would fly out of the like 4 or 5 heroes, 5 heroes to be exact, would just fly out of the alleyway and turn right to see the villain they were chasing holding this civilian, like high school student type deal, is on what he would look like, right? Anyways, uh, Izuku would recognize the heroes, but most popular would be Mirko. Not at her like prime popularity right now, but she would be getting there, right? Either way, I know what you're gonna say. Wait, I thought UA's was a high school. Not in this. What if it's a university? Yeah, okay, it's a university in this. What if? Cool, cool. Is it? It's 45 minutes. Okay, cool. No, in math. Wait, no, it's not. It's been like 30 minutes. I started at 45. Five, that was 15. So now it's like 40, 30 minutes. Actually, it's been 20 minutes. I'm stupid. Well, it's 20 minutes until, like, it would be an hour, so it would be like 40 minutes. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I just had a time puzzle. Didn't know what time how it would correlate. Sorry. Um, yeah. Anyways, the heroes would just be stopped as the villain would continue to talk like, I'll slit this kid's throat if you come any closer, okay? I'm not messing around. I'll do it. As he'd begin to bring the sword, like his arm blade, like closer and closer, the heroes would try to de-escalate, like, hey, the kid has nothing to do with this. Let him go, okay? Nah, 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 nah. This ain't how this is gonna work. You're gonna let me go, okay? You're gonna let me go, or the kid gets it, okay? Um, they would continue their like back and forth of the heroes trying to escalate, the villain trying to like hostage situation, like bargain, like, hey, let me go, or the people get it type deal, okay? Big time like egg chan type feel, okay? Anyways, from across the street after a little bit would be like a kid from Izuku's like school, like knowing who he is, and from this like far away, it's only like a street, okay? He would say, Izuku, burn him up, right? There'd be a couple kids like yelling this, like, come on, dude, you got this. But Izuku doesn't have it in him. He can't do it. Like, this guy has a massive, like, blade at his neck. The villain then would say, oh, so you're popular, huh? Man, it would certainly suck to watch your fame go down, huh? Anyways, so, you gonna make the wrong move, kid? You gonna listen to him? Or you gonna sit still? You're gonna make the right decision, huh? Anyways, heroes, one last chance. Um, Mirako would just be standing there, like, tapping your foot, arms across. She would eventually say, fine, just let the kid go. and we won't chase you for like 5 minutes. Nah, nah, nah. You're done with me. Okay, you're done. You're not gonna chase me anymore. Okay, fine. Just let the kid go. Okay. He would slowly bring both things away, as then he would go to turn around, but then he would quickly turn around, like do a turn, like he would act to turn around, and then he would turn back around. He would grab Izuku by the shoulder, bring his blade arm around, go like bring it across his stomach in a rough way, just just straight across the gut, like stomach area of Izuku, just straight across. It would be rough, like a rough cut, like a very rough, like even though the main cut would just go side to side, like across the stomach, there would be points on where it would just kind of shoot up or down from it, like it would be ripping. Okay, as he would do so, he'd just do it quickly and book it. Izuku would fall, just stunned in the moment, thinking to himself, once again, another villain doesn't hold their word. They don't play fair. And then, doof, he would fall. But luckily for him, a hero, one of the four, besides Mirko, one of the five heroes, not Mirko clearly, would rush up, flip him over. His quirk, as he would slide his hands across each other, a sticky fluid would just shoot out from them, and he would just spread it across and keep it there, holding it himself, because that's how his quirk works. He has to stick himself. Like it's a sticky thing. He can just like create this like fluid from his hands, as they like friction from his hands, and it would just come up multiple different properties for it. But this one, he would just stick the wound over, as another hero would call ambulance. Okay. Uh, they would get him there. Time skip, hospital, stitches, bing bada boom. Over, he would have to stay there for a long time, just because of how like risky it is for him to go anywhere at the moment. No one at his school would visit him throughout these few weeks, but over those few weeks that he would be stuck there, the heroes that was there on his off days would come visit, because they feel like it was their fault. They couldn't catch the villain. They would feel terrible. They would profusely apologize to him and his mother, for putting her son in this danger, and to him for not catching the villain before it could happen. Inko would tear into them, but Izuku would say, "Mom, quit, please. It's fine. It's fine. It's not their fault. Villains don't play fair, though. That's why I don't blame them, okay? And now I know you'll have different feelings than me, but it's perfectly fine. It doesn't bother me." And then Inko would get into him, like, nearly on tears on like, it doesn't bother you that these heroes couldn't save you? Izuku then would say, no, it's perfectly fine. They're not invincible. I know that. How many years? Well, I've been studying heroes for years. I want to be a hero. Okay? We're not invincible. They're not invincible. No one is. Okay? Things break. Things burn. It's fine. Then Mirko would say, good words, kid. As she would also be like tearing up, like she's sorry. Like these heroes, even though after hearing Izuku say all this stuff on how he doesn't blame them. It's fine. He knows they're not invincible. They can't save everyone. That's just the way it is, right? That's kind of how his father has taught him to see heroes, not as these invincible figures, but as regular people, right? Like there's the same, like they're humans too. They're not this like celestial thing to where like they have emotions, they have um same things as we do. They also have quirks, they also have families, they also have dreams of their own. They can make their own decisions. Okay. It's not always the same like rambunctious like hero like All Might, which he's also not invincible, is the thing. Right. After that entire thing, um, Inko would excuse herself, apologizing as she would leave. Um, the heroes would just sit there with Izuku, talking to him, right? Just him asking for stories, honestly. He just kind of want some type of story from them. That's all he would ask for, right? From then, day on, he would pull up the same character, dubbed as the hothead hottie of, um, well, his school, and life would go on for the next couple years. Eventually, he would graduate. On the end of the days, 10 months away, he would sign up for UA. 10 months would go by quickly for him as he would spend every day training, day in, day out, resting on the weekends, but then day in, day out, training each and every day, not fully not fully focusing on his quirk, learning hand to hand martial arts to the best of his capabilities without going like outside. He would just train like privately, um, right? Just from like either YouTube or somewhere from videos. He would just learn simple like martial arts, like just simple kicks and punches, strikes, holds, just simple things that he could interlock within his quirk and the plans he has for using his quirk. Now, the entrance exam would come up very quickly after that. He would head in. He wouldn't trip, right? he'd still hold up that same character of like the hothead hottie, but he would tone it down to where like he's not trying to make a scene, okay? But the written exam would fly by. He would hope he would get like higher up there in grades, like enough to like be considered to actually be in UA. Uh, right. Uh, but then the practical would come by. Everyone would be separated within their own cities. Izuku being the same way, and they would head in. See, now, as it would happen, Izuku would say to himself, maximum effort, as he would head in behind many others, but in front of even more. He'd be closer to the front than you'd expect, uh, right? But he would head off it into completely, as everyone would go either straight or just in these big groups of like seeing like the closest like robots. He would just run past everyone, um, going to the back, and then boom, destroying robots there. Um, he would notice a lot of cameras, like, so they're watching, and he would say, "Okay, how about this, you you robots? How about I let you have my?" He has given his quirk like the moves names already, most of them at least. He would say, "How about this? Have my wild, explosive fireball," as he would just pitch it like baseball, right? Like baseball. It would be large, just huge. Not really huge, huge, but big enough to where it would engulf like the front half of this like group of like uh 7 to 10 robots. Okay, it would engulf the front of them, and then it would explode just as soon it was contacted with the first one, and it would keep on going. It would explode over and over again. He would throw them, and then he would say, "How about that?" As you could clearly see, it would be quite chilly. It would still be semi-early in the morning, so you could see steam rising up. His body would be heating up, and he would say, "It's just heating up now." As he would just continue through, destroying robot after robot in multiple different ways with his fire, but mostly with the fireballs or his wild burning fist. His fist would be engulfed in flame, and it would explode on contact. Yeah, real creative. Anyways, he would just continue on destroying robots. Zero Pointer would come up. Uh, it's not. No one would get stuck in this one. Okay, Ochako is in a whole entire different like group. She got saved by the person who has one for all in this timeline, Melissa Shield. Yeah, I gave it to her. I really enjoy her character, Melissa Shield. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, um, yeah. I think that's where I'm going to end it here for today. I wanted to get into UA, but knowing how time is, I don't think I'll be able to, unless I speed it through, which I don't want to do. But anyways, yeah, that's where I'm going to end it. I thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, night, afternoon, evening, and I hope to see you all next time. Roll the dice. Bye bye.